Hello, welcome back. Teh Tarik Hour. As always, it's the two of us, Ah Kit, Azreen. We are back again for another episode. First things first, 1,000. Finally, yay! Thank you so much for guys subscribing. We hope you enjoy our content, whatever the thing we talk about.
Yes.
Seems like a lot of people quite excited in the last episode, sharing our different opinions. But to be clear, we're not here try to say who is right, who is wrong. More thing is more like we want to share our thoughts and our opinions lah, and then hopefully to spark a discussion among everyone. The things that we see,
Actually, our show is more on the entertainment side. It's not
we are-
saying
we are not the experts for
education for
education.
people. Not education purpose. Actually, it's more on the entertainment. And then this is we are short sendiri.
It's just like when you lepak at Teh Tarik, when you lepak at Mamat while drinking Teh Tarik kind of thing. That's why it's called Teh Tarik Hour.
Yes.
But we will continue our sort of dangerous topics to talk about because our forever beloved
our Tun M.
our forever Tun M. He made a recently on social media some observation lah. When he was enjoying his life at 99 years old, enjoying life going shopping mall. So for those who are unaware, I think most people are aware lah actually that Mahathir on over the weekend posted on social media that he went to a shopping mall. He was saying, "Wow, Malaysian shopping mall, so amazing, so fantastic, so futuristic, right?" And then one thing he said to himself, "Hey, why do I feel like suddenly I'm in China one?" Then it's because he see all the shopping malls got a lot of Chinese letterings and everything. Then he bought the thought that, is Malaysia becoming more like China nowadays with all these Chinese shops and everything?
China signboards.
Chinese signboards, everything's catering to Chinese tourism and whatnot. But we are not promoting our national language, Bahasa and whatnot. So here's the issue that we come to point. What is your opinion? Okay, first of all, are you familiar of what Mahathir is talking and what he trying to say basically?
Yeah, I know because Mahathir is mentioned just now. I just very fast to go through the YouTube. Just now you
we were doing our research.
just go through the YouTube and saying Mahathir is mentioned how come a lot of the signboards and then it's a Chinese wording, it's not the Bahasa or English because some of them or Malaysians are people who cannot understand the signboard because the tulisan is in Chinese. But I got one questions. One place in Johor Bahru is called Forest City. Some kinds of
Forest City. Yeah.
That site I really found that I personally go there and visit lah.
Wow, you actually went on investigative journalism.
No, that site really for me is some part like China. It's some kind of like this kind of feeling. Even the sign, road sign, or even the way they are doing parkings, the way they are do the road sign, or everything's
the culture feel like it's China culture. Is it?
It feel like China culture, but it's somehow they are also input in some wording in I think it's Bahasa or English. I don't remember lah. But this is a good thing or a bad thing. But it's only that the road sign is they are a really like a Chinese style. I can say Chinese style. But I put them in betweens lah, in the balance lah. We should have a Bahasa or English in the bottom or in the top. Make the Malaysian who can understand this is the road sign and how.
Okay, so for you, right? You think like, is it a bad thing or a good thing that there is more of this Chinese signature or billboards coming up, or Chinese language billboards coming up, and then or is it a?
I think no matter you have because Malaysia is a multicultural, it's a racial cultures. If let's say you are putting a Chinese wording, of course you will have to put a Bahasa or English in the bottom. You make all the people can be understand.
But that one is like purely Chinese, is it?
Some of the signboard that is not responsible lah. Because we want to make all the Malaysian who can understand. It's not say you just put on the Chinese. It's so selfish. I think it's if let's say you are the businessman, I only to hope the Chinese market. I also of course hope to the entire Malaysian market ma.
I mean, but then again, there also the point of this is all commercial and private entities lah. So if the prerogative of that person is they want to target Chinese people only, who are we to say that, you cannot do that, ma? You have to cater to everyone. you as a business, we as a government say that you must cater to everyone. Should government be like that? Should we intervene like that, or should we say that, oh, your shop is purely for Chinese people? Okay, lor, that's your choice, lah. Why we want to pollute you so much?
I think the government should have the signboard regulation for all the signboard.
So you believe that everything should be if it's a Chinese, whether it's like Chinese, Indian, whatever, there still needs to be either a Bahasa or English signature there.
I mean, our three language come first. I believe you have to become a Bahasa, English, and Chinese. These three language come first, because I realize in the other state in Kuantan they are using Jawi.
So okay, when it comes to that, do you think that's acceptable? Or because there was issue at one point, I believe there were an increase of Jawi signage and languages across Malaysia lah. And not just Kuantan. Like I feel like even in KL there were like signboards and everything in Jawi. And then some people were not really acceptable to that, because like, oh, why suddenly so many Jawi language? Is it the Middle Eastern people coming over to take over? So there you see, there's the same problem again there. And then there was back and forth between people saying that, well, okay, we last time Malaysia, we are also our heritage in Jawi ma. We learned Bahasa from Jawi originally, right? So there is some historical culture there. When it comes to Chinese language, there's a lot of Chinese people in Malaysia. That's also their historical language as well. So is it not? Should it be that much of an issue? Because if we say Chinese cannot, then shouldn't the Jawi also cannot? Then also Tamil also cannot? Then you become like, wow,
it's
regulate a lot of languages.
Yes, because we are in a multi-racial.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, we have to like consistent. If let's say for English or Bahasa, we pick as one languages. If it's a main language for the signboard. If let's say you're Bahasa, maybe Bahasa or Bahasa as a mass lah. Because last time I also you see in Kuala Lumpur, KL, the old town, our downtown lah, Kuala Lumpur. You see even some of the Kedai Emas, there is a Chinese Kedai Emas. They have also put the Kedai Emas as the bottom, and then the Chinese word is upstairs. So we have this practice at the old time. We have this practice. We have put Bahasa and Chinese. You see
the two language thing lah.
Yeah, dual language At least you've got someone. This is the Chinese word in the Bahasa, or this is Kedai Bajak, the pawn shop.
So that people are familiar with what is the shop's name or Kedai Pajak. So at least you know in Bahasa, this is called Kedai Pajak, or this is Kedai Emas, or this is so you know this thing lah.
Yeah.
But again, for me, it's like the issue about having signages of different languages, I don't think is too much of a problem lah. I do believe this stems from the fear that people think that we are losing our identity as Malaysians when we're not using our national language, which is Bahasa Malaysia lah, right? That is our national language.
I think we are not losing any cultures, because we are in a multi-culture. We are accept all the culture which are from Western or for Eastern, whatever places is come to Malaysia, and then we blended all that.
Okay, wait, but I think we're going to be too fast here. Let's go back to Mahathir and his statement. Do you agree with him saying that there's too much Chinese signage?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
I don't agree. From since how many years in Kuala Lumpur we are using a Chinese words. But I think it's the way they put the Chinese word is more like a China style. I can say it's China style.
Like China style marketing design like that, is it?
This is a visual thing. Because the shops.
Because the language, the Chinese language itself has been around.
No. You know what's the difference? The Chinas and the China style, and then we call it is consistent is our Southeast Asian Malaysian style, Chinese Malaysians. The China is very like is very hardly to define, because they are putting last time they are using a simplified Chinese.
The
simplified Chinese.
Okay.
And then we are using the traditional Chinese.
Right?
Yes, this is a different shit lah. The very Chinese style and then the Malaysian style. This is what I'm thinking.
So, but then wouldn't that still be a better thing? Because like simplified Chinese is more ubiquitous. It's more people are more people know simplified Chinese more than traditional Chinese characters, right?
The simplified Chinese are only China are using, but the traditional Chinese is in Hong Kong, Taiwan, and some sort of in Malaysia, and then Malaysia is not all are using the traditionals lah, but the young generation is using a simplified Chinese also. Singapore, Singapore is using a simplified also. Some of the places lah.
So on that merit alone, wouldn't that is there still a divide between using simplified or traditional Chinese? Would you consider using simplified Chinese is losing your culture of a traditional Chinese
I
character?
prefer in traditional Chinese character.
Is it because you're just used to traditional Chinese and you're not choosing to learn?
I think in school, my primary school, because I'm from the Chinese education background, I study from standard 1 to standard 6 is a Chinese school lah. So the time in Chinese school we are using the simplified Chinese.
Oh, so you even came from a simplified Chinese, but you still prefer traditional Chinese over your
prefer the traditional Chinese.
Okay, but then again, that's your personal opinion lah. And the fact that right now a lot of the stores right now are using more simplified Chinese, you feel it's that's what gives it the feel of China influence, is it?
We cannot put like we using Chinese characters, the simplified Chinese character as a Chinese. This is not, we cannot apply all to all the shop. You say, let's say you are using a simplified, then you say you are claimed to as a Chinese, China. Because this will be outside of China also got people using simplified Chinese.
Of course.
So the respect for other people, we have maybe the 3 languages on a signboard. That one will make people to more understand on the signboard.
Okay, so then for you it's more like you don't care so much about whether it's simplified, traditional, or whatever lah.
Yes,
it's the fact that if you use Chinese, you should at least put in English and Bahasa there to balance everything up lah.
But I know lah, because we work as a designer. We are design mans, right? We are designer. We are designers, right? We know we are put a lot of languages on a signboard where it distract people. People say, how come so many?
Selling point that's how you catch eye.
So sometimes, this one is what sharp. I was stunned. Maybe it's in 1 minute, then we are red on the signboard. Maybe it's in one language, it's only English. Eye-catching. This is a pawn shop. Okay, no, I know that. Or when kedai banjak. Okay, I know. Kedai banjak is what that. Then you will put a lot. Then I cannot find the words I want to read. The signboard.
They lost the
direction.
The point.
Lost the direction.
Okay, but that's design punya talk lah. This is not design talk. Not yet lah, at least. But then that's the thing. Like the idea of language. To you, is Mahathir making it a big deal out of nothing right now? Because like he said, there's more and more shops using the Chinese language, using other languages other than BM and English. Is that an issue to you? You don't think that's a problem at all? Because from my personal perspective, right, regardless of what it is, a shop decides to use Chinese language and not put Bahasa or English, your choice then not. It's not. I'm not forced to go to their shop or anything like that. And if I miss out on anything on that, then this is that.
I think it's only the businessmen got the issues. They are only targeted to those people who are read Chinese to come into their shops.
So it's more on the beholden of the businesses that choose to do that lah. And you choose to eliminate yourself from a bigger market, then sure.
But
that's
seriously,
your choice,
when
but
someone
do we need to regulate that? That's the thing. I'm coming to that.
Okay. When regulations come to the regulation, we have Bahasa. No matter is even you want to put Jawi or you want to put Chinese or either put in English, you have to put Bahasa because Bahasa Melayu is our first language in Malaysia. I don't know whether you like it or don't like it. You have to put the Bahasa. At least you put the Bahasa pawn shop, kedai panjak at the bottom.
But that's different, right? Because I think that is required to be put in, right? Because then
it's a requirement
to say like kedai makan or kedai pajak, or basically like it's a food or it's a restaurant or is a clinic or whatnot lah.
Yes.
But your signage, your billboard, it's your the thing that catches your eye, that can be whatever you want. It's
Yes.
just that as long as that you have that lah.
Wait, sometimes you can see even Apple shop, they're also not putting the Apple. They're putting just logos, like Apple logos, right?
Ah,
It's some kind of like Chinese character, and maybe they are
it's just a logo.
They
their
just
logo.
use a logo.
But even if Apple has that big Apple, it still say kedai telephone or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like basically there's still that explanation lah, and I do believe that that's the case still. But then again, it comes back to Mahathir saying that the signage, the big words, it's not Bahasa, it's not English. Is that too much for us already? Because like again, from Mahathir's perspective, is that we're losing our identity because we're not utilizing our national language. We're not utilizing, or at least we're not catering to a more global perspective for English. Which I find to be like very.
What are your opinion?
I think it's blown out of proportion because it's doesn't matter whatever you want to put on your sign, as long as it's not offensive and it's not harming other people, then you can put whatever you want. You want to put in Japanese word, also can. You want to put in Jawi, also can. You want to put in fictional language, you make up your choice lah. If people don't know what your store is, then they don't go to your store, then that's your choice lah. Of course, you follow the regulations of things like, you need to specify this is kedai apa, like what kind of shop is it lah. But you don't need to cater to the whims of government lah, saying that you have a shop in our country, you need to use Bahasa only. Because as much as I respect the language of our national language, its purposes, I think it's a beautiful language, and if you take time to learn, it's an amazing language as well, and a lot of our literature is amazing, but it's not something that we should force onto people. Because that's what they did with Indonesia last time, where like all the shops, all the signage, everything has to be in Bahasa Indonesia. And yes, it does strengthen your ability to feel proud about your language lah. But then it also closes you to other possibility, especially in a country like ours where we are multi-ethnic created. We have Chinese, Indian. We have also in East Malaysia alone different Aborigines and whatnot. So for us to just say Bahasa Malaysia for everyone, it kind of defeats the purpose of our diversity lah. So for me, it's like you put Chinese, okay lah, suka hati your like lah. Maybe it would encourage me to learn Chinese if there's more Tamil or using Sanskrit characters. Maybe I'll learn that, and we have the opportunity to learn those language because our country.
Thing is we rarely see the Tamil signage.
Well, that's the thing lah. Because again, it's only a small section of our country really still learn these things lah. I would say there's no incentive for you to learn languages beyond just what you would use lah. Like I would say still like a lot of Chinese also, once like you always say, they only learn Chinese but they don't want to improve their Bahasa or anything else, right? Similarly, there's a lot of Malays who are learning Bahasa but only like Kampong Bahasa and not really our Tata Bahasa, the actual Tata Bahasa, and not even wanting to learn Jawi and whatnot. I'm also guilty of not learning my Jawi as well, but I try to learn a bit by bit lah, because I do want to open my mind, explore to it. I just don't want it to be forced in a way that's like, if you're not doing it, you're not Malaysian. What does that mean, man? Like, I'm Malaysian because I'm born in Malaysia, ma. It shouldn't be because of my language.
And no, because it's some kind of like, we don't have one's if like Bahasa, if let's say everyone in Malaysia, they should it's a national language lah, a common language. When we will meet each other, like first impressions, you meet someone, you are speaking in Bahasa, no matter, it's some kind of like you in state or you in Singapore, the first impression you talk to the people, even you're Chinese to Chinese or Chinese to Malay, or
speak English.
Speak English. This is the first impression. After that, maybe I realize you are Chinese, then you can speak some Hokkien or some Chinese. That is
but okay, is that really an issue though? Like, for not being able to identify how you want to talk to other people? Like, if I were to meet a random Malaysian, probably I would start with Bahasa first lah. Because we are in Malaysia. I hope you know Bahasa lah. But odds are, you will probably switch to either English or whatever their preferred language of choice is.
But sometimes seriously in Malaysia it's quite rojak also. I want to talk to some things that it's one I met recently lah. I met a lot of Indian guys, especially Indian guys. Then I speak to them because last time usually I speak to Indians is like maybe using English. Usually lah English. Then sometimes then he talked to me. He replied to me is
Chinese.
Chinese. 我可以讲华语的. Wow, I shocked. I really
But
shocked.
don't you feel good though? Cause like
No, I feel few times already, bro. I see. Wow, how come is the Mandarin is so common in Malaysia?
but you don't think that's what do you feel about that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing to you? Like when you see someone like an Indian person speaking Chinese to you, is that a good thing that you think is happening in Malaysia, or is that you think like, oh, that's kind of weird kind of thing?
But if let's say for me lah, I bit cute because I'm prefer in direct. I'm speak Cantonese persons ma. If let's say in
Cantonese dying language.
It's a dialect.
This is I don't think a lot of people speak Cantonese anymore.
Old generation people. The auntie uncle.
Well, don't admit yourself too old already. I also enjoy Cantonese, but like it's the more familiar nowadays is Mandarin lah.
Yes,
But okay,
Mandarin.
again, to you, it's like, do you think that's a bad thing that people speaking more Chinese to you, or is that like
it's not the bad thing. Actually, it's more get more closer to you lah.
Right.
Because you speak my language. It's some kind of like, okay, the person, if I'm Chinese, you speak the language to me, I can understand. Of course, I'm from because in Malaysia, it's not all the Malaysians can speak Mandarin,
Of course.
So if let's say it's one guy, some of my friends cannot speak Mandarin, they are oh 是 wow, even the Chinese cannot speak a words in Chinese, but the Indian guy can speak fluently the Mandarin. What's the scenario is so weird.
So yeah, but it's also very encouraging to see that, for me lah, at least, that the different races are willing to learn and learn about different culture and different languages, especially in our country where we're so mixed together lah. And I feel like that's a very good thing. And if I were to see like a Chinese like learn Jawi, or Indian again learn Chinese, and a Malay learning either Chinese or Tamil and everything to really expand their horizon, that's encouraging. It's the point where we say like, oh, we start to blame them for losing culture or losing their identity. Like what Mahathir is saying, I think that's what he's saying, is that, oh, we're pushing all this China narrative that we're ignoring our own identity. You don't agree with him on that?
I don't agree. Seriously, I don't agree. If let's say we already want to promote our culture, we can do a lot of work. We're not saying just a signboard is losing our identities. We cannot say like that. Based on one thing and say, oh, the signboard is tulisan Chinese, okay, then we are losing our identities. This is so what? I don't know. I don't use words.
So infuriating kind of thing lah. It's very simplified look at the thing.
Yeah, this is the one thing that
Chinese pasal lah, that's why. We're just like stroking the enemy there, lor. I think again, I feel like this is what Mahathir always does. He tried to stroke the racial divide by pushing this kind of narrative.
His brain
Hey, 99 years old and he's still alive. You can't compare. You can't compare. Still more
99.
more.
Next year, 100 years.
Survive the queen, his brain still more power than
More
you, okay? Don't
functions,
play.
Still function,
He can still use this to create controversy, But again, we come back to the fact, okay, so now I think we established the point that for you at least, having all this signage is okay, but as long as you put in Bahasa or English there, and you feel that there needs to be some sort of regulation there, is it?
Yeah, make people to understand what shop is that. I think this is I think it's a respect lah. Because you want to put the signboard or signage to make all the people who are live in Malaysia can understand. Even some like tourist spot, you have to put English. You want to make the people who understand the sign. It's not say that I put the sign only for certain group people to understand. There's no point you put the sign what. This is what I'm thinking lah.
Better you just open shop there lah. Well, I mean, I get where you're coming from with that, and I do feel encouraging, local businesses to at least put a secondary language there to at least people know what it is.
Yes.
Now, do I feel like it requires regulation? Well, it depends. Like, is it that prevalent? Has it become that much of an issue? If it has become to a point of an issue where it's like people don't even know what shop is what shop anymore, then sure, maybe that requires some form of regulation there lah. To me, ultimately, it's your choice lah. Your
choice
But I do think this is blown out of proportion in terms of like, we're losing our identity. This is a Malay is being left behind kind of thing in terms of like the language.
I think beside of just Tun M mentioned is the signage lah. But some of the like the notice, the away, those are small notice we also should put 3 languages or 4 languages for people who can understand. It's not just the Bahasa or some Bahasa and Chinese. I have to put 4 languages lah.
Here's the thing, right? We are at the modern world, right? Why not just
Google
use your
Translate?
That's what I say. Just use your Google Translate lah. Mahathir don't know how to use AI got already, bro.
No. This one different. If let's say you put on a sign, you make the people like, oh, in Malaysia you are a way for other people. Not everyone is. I know lah. Auntie uncle, 60 years old. No lah. Nowadays 60 years old also know the Google.
They know Google Translate also.
But seriously, for old time, maybe the people who do not use the Google translation. But nowadays, seriously, everyone can use. But still, it's a respect lah. I can show the respect for people lah.
So for you, it's just about the culture of respect, is it?
The culture of respect. Then you put the 4 languages.
If you don't understand, just use Google Translate lah, uncle. It's so hard, man. Just open your phone there and just click Google Translate. You don't even need to click.
The phone is battery flat. How you know? I was like, my phone is no battery.
That's your own fault lah. You go out with no battery, man. Who goes out without battery anymore, man?
You can see the sign is more better, don't know lah.
The world has so much technology. You can just like Google Translate everything. Why you care so much already? But to me, it doesn't disrupt anything, and I think most the average Malaysian lah, I don't think they really care so much about all this signage thing lah. Because I didn't realize it as an issue until Mahathir brought it up as an issue lah.
But seriously, when I go to some places, like a lot of those languages I not understand, then I'm not going inside. I don't know. This is not foreign's not
but like is that
outside Malaysia.
Is that a problem though? It's like you see that shop and you don't know what it is, so you don't go lah. What? Unless they're doing something illegal, there shouldn't be a problem. It doesn't affect your life, I would assume. Unless you really like you
create your curiosities, what?
Huh?
Created your
use your Google Translate at that point. If you're really so curious, if you are so curious enough, why not you take the extra step to actually use some kind of thing to, or you paling you just go to the shop and ask, what shop is this? Hey, you get not so hard. If you really want to old school, so you can just go to the shop and just say, hey, this is what shop? Oh, this is a massage shop. Then you okay. So I understand. Or this is a power shop. Oh, okay. I don't see an issue there. It seems like the easiest solution people just don't want to do. I think. Like for me, if I see a shop, I don't know the sign, I don't know the language. If I'm so curious, I'll just either use my phone to translate or seriously just go to the shop and ask what kind of shop it is. If I'm not curious enough to care, then I'll just ignore it. So to me, it doesn't really speak to a bigger issue.
It's not a bigger issue. It's trying to like... Actually, Tun M, I want to mention this. They want to create a bazaar, is it?
Of course, cari pasar. That's why I say controversy. But it's also interesting to think that such a small thing can become such an issue in Malaysia. I feel like it is uniquely Malaysian to look at this and think there's a bigger issue at play rather than the fact that you can just ignore this thing and focus on more important issues. Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we really are losing our culture and our identity. Don't know. You feel Malaysia is losing its identity or not? Like
no.
The fact that we are not using Bahasa Melayu or Bahasa Malaysia as much.
Culture is not just a language one. Not only just a language, because we are a lot of our identity we put inside, like the machine, we blend all everything's inside ma. We not just one thing. It's not like we are purely Japanese, and then only Japanese people and Japanese language are very single races.
Yeah, but it's not like we don't have any shops that have Bahasa or
Yeah.
shops that have in English.
The directory is some kind of like Chinatown. Last time a lot of China group of the bunch of China there. Then Tamil is a brick fields. A lot of Indians.
I mean, there's still like I in Brickfield there. I'm sure a lot of Tamil shops are using the Tamil signage there. And
Not really now. I went to Brickfield. They are all is put the English and then Bahasa also is same
I
thing.
think maybe they're catering to like Western audiences because a lot of Guaylo go there. I mean, in a sense, it is about catering to the market lah. Like which is the bigger market, and apparently right now it's a lot of Chinese tourism. But again, I don't think it's that.
I know realize our airports, they're also putting the Japanese at the bottom.
Oh
the
yeah, I
language.
mean that's always been around for a long time, right?
Japanese, even Chinese and Japanese, they put a different language because this one is a convenient for people ma. Because the people who need the language, then we put the signboard.
But you just imagine how many languages, how big your signboard need to be. You put like so many different languages there. You've got Chinese, Bahasa, English there. How to fit in your
got
signboard?
Chinese, got the Japanese words. I think, but you go to the Europeans lah. They only put a single language. They are go to Spanish or whatever. They only put even they are also not put in English one. English international language.
I mean, but again, you have to compare that in the sense that how homogeneous their country is lah. We are a very diverse country, and that requires a lot of understanding and differences in the way we do things. We can't simply compare to like Western countries like Italy or this, where it's just Italians in a sense, or Germany where it's just Germans. Not really lah. Nowadays a lot of mixed there also lah. But of course there is some nationalistic pride in promoting our language lah. But we should do that in a way that's encouraging rather than forcing.
But all the while we are using a Maltese language and Maltese what you
Bro,
call
we are
it?
talking in English also. You see how different we are.
We are colonial ma. Before lah, not now.
I thought you want to say China colonial also. No you're not anti-China anymore, is it?
Don't know.
But what do you guys think? Do you feel like there's too much China signboards nowadays? Do we need to have regulations?
Are you
saying
guys
that?
anti-Chinese or China?
Anti-China, or is this Western propaganda again? Or Mahathir is finding controversies just to find issues there? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoy what we do, as always, share, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. Until then, goodbye.